Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's far from the morning. Um, 25 minutes to go to 2nd of September, my birthday. So I'm just catching you on the evening of Monday, 1st of September. The summer transfer window is officially closed. And what a day it's been for multiple teams. But I'm here to address the Man United transfer window. Um, Unlike a lot of sources, and certainly a lot of fan channels really criticizing the transfer window, summer transfer window for Man United in terms of the business done. I think I'm relatively happy. In fact, I didn't think we would do the business that we've done. We've backed Ruben Amrim, our manager, and we've brought in some solid players whilst um, respecting our new transfer policy. And I think a lot of people um, have completely ignored the fact that Man United do have a transfer policy, a new transfer policy brought in and uh, kind of labeled by the new owners. I think when Sir Jim Ratcliffe came to Man United, when he bought Man United, he clearly said, "We're not in it for the stars." I think I remember him mentioning Mbappe's name. He's not in it to get the current Mbappes, and he doesn't have the finances, and he doesn't think this is the right strategy. So he's not going after Mbappe. He's not going after the big names. And I would put Donnarumma in the same bracket. But what he's going for is the future. So straight away, he got rid of Ten Hag and brought in Ruben Amorim. That's to start with. Now, Ruben Amorim is 1985 born. He's 40 years of age. There's no way, if the owner is stating that he wants to go with a young, you know, philosophy, young people, and brings in one of the youngest top managers out there, there's no way he'll be getting players who are old or who are old enough to have been playing with Ruben Amorim. Now, if we look at the United squad and the United strategy, I think clearly United are following a transfer policy. And I'm going with this introduction before I address our business for this summer transfer window deadline day, because I see a lot of people really surprised, confused at how we've ended up getting Senna Lamens in today. I don't seem surprised at all. Yes, personally, if you ask me, who would my first choice be? It would be Donnarumma, 26 years of age, comes from PSG. In my opinion, the number one keeper in the world, ahead of Courtois. Makes absolute sense. But if we can't get Donnarumma for whatever reason, hey, Aruma, I believe he's gone to Man City. And if I was Donnarumma and I had a choice of, and if I was Donnarumma and not a Man United fan, in fact, I had the chance to go and work for Pep Guardiola for Man City, a project which is well and truly underway. Sure, they're doing a bit of rebuilding, but it's nowhere near the catastrophe of a situation that Man United are in. I think it's a fairly simple choice. So if Donnarumma is going to Man City, who, let's face it, are one of the leading um, teams for the Premier League title alongside Arsenal and Liverpool, who does that leave us with? Who are the other goalkeepers out there? Well, we've been linked with Emi Martinez. I think I did a talk, I did a piece on Emi Martinez, and good goalkeeper, solid goalkeeper, kind of fits the profile. The biggest positive is he comes with bags of Premier League experience, tried and tested, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper on penalties. Certainly one of the best. Okay, great, great. But is Emi Martinez that good a goalkeeper? Not at all. Optically, he's far from it. He's got a mistake in him. Some critics and the goalkeeper union will say, well, goalkeepers are there to make mistakes. They will always make mistakes. Granted, they will make mistakes. But I think some goalkeepers more so than others. Goalkeepers who have the personality is one thing. Courtois has the personality. Donnarumma has the personality. Schmeichel had the personality. Van der Sar has the personality. But there's more than one ways to have a personality. Then there's more than one personalities. Let's face it. Van der Sar and David De Gea were brilliant goalkeepers for Man United. Superb. They didn't taunt the opposition like Onana does, like Emi Martinez does. And I think Emi Martinez, for me, the biggest red flag personally, and I didn't say that on the other call, but he actually reminds me a lot of Onana in terms of his personality, in terms of his style of play. His left-footed, but he deliberates on the ball. It's not bad, but he waits for the opposition, he taunts, he takes risks and unnecessary risks, which is why he ends up making a lot more mistakes. And he's quite erratic. He's almost like Pickford like in a way. And do I want Pickford? Hell no. Right? So that's Emi Martinez's style of play. The other thing is, like myself, in 15 minutes, Emi Martinez will be celebrating his birthday. Now, that's not the issue. He's a Virgo, top lad. Issue is, he's turning 33. Now, we've just said Amorim is 40. We've got, at most, 5 players in the entire United squad of about, the entire squad of players that Man United had at their disposal of about 30 players. There's only 5 who have ages beginning with 3. Tom Heaton is one of them. He's only 1 year Amorim's junior at 39, and his contract is expiring next year. He's on a rolling 1-year contract anyway. I very much doubt now that we've got Sané Lemons that will be renewing Tom Heaton's contract. That's one. Second player over 30 is Casemiro. So technically, he's actually the oldest player because I don't think Tom Heaton counts, even in a period of crisis, should we say, in terms of goalkeepers. When we've got Onana at the helm, we've got Bandy at the helm, and they're both making mistakes. We still didn't use Tom Heaton. I would have rather they used him, but they still didn't use Tom Heaton. So we know that is not the way that Amorim's ever going to go. So he's therefore, I'm sure, helping the youngsters and helping, doing his bit for the cause, maybe being a bit of providing training fodder for the strikers to shoot at, perhaps. But we know Tom Heaton's not in the United squad to ever feature in a match under Ruben Amorim this season, in my opinion. I don't think he'll play a single minute. So he's out. Casemiro is technically our oldest player, and at 33, his contract expires next year. After Casemiro, it's Harry Maguire, 32 years of age. His contract expires next year. So anyone, those are the only three players who are over 30, and all three of them have their contracts expiring next year. What makes us think that Ruben Amorim was going to invest in Emi Martinez at 33, breaking the strategy that set by the owners and by himself? Yeah, I could definitely, you know, even though it would have made sense, would it have made sense to go into to bring Emi Martinez? Could he deliver for Man United? Absolutely. Is he a good enough keeper? Yeah, I think he's in the top four, top five keepers in the Premier League. Yeah. Top 10 keepers in the world? Possibly, yes. Edwin van der Sar doesn't think so, actually. But, I'd put him in the top 10 keepers in the world. But that's for the here and now. Maybe for next season, maximum. But after a couple of seasons, Emi Martinez would have to be making way if he was at Man United, in my opinion. So I don't think he was an option. Donnarumma, yes, but again, with the entire transfer policy, transfer strategy, Ruben Amorim wants a team that's going to be here for years to stay, years to come. Donnarumma doesn't look that kind of character. He'll come in, sign a contract, 3 to 4 years, run his contract down like he's done for PSG, like he's done before that in Italy, and go on a free. Again, that breaks that momentum, that breaks the transfer strategy. So, really, what does that leave us? Lamens. Now, is Lamens the answer to all of Man United problems? Questionable. For all of the research out there, or for all of the videos and all of the data, etc., really, I didn't have much to chew on, much to research on. Lamens has technically only had one really good season, one full season, and one really good season for Royal Antwerp. But at the age that he's at 23, he's at 10 years, he's 10 years junior to both Martinez, and I think he's 10 years junior to Courtois. Courtois is 33, Donnarumma is 26, and Neuer, another top keeper, I believe he's 39. So at 10 years junior to Courtois, 10 years junior to Martinez, he's got his entire future ahead of him. Almost reminds me of the transfer of David De Gea from Atletico Madrid. Okay. And going back to Martinez, he got released by Arsenal in 2020, only 5 years ago, at his peak, should we say. So Martinez's ceiling is definitely not got that. It's definitely not that high. I think he's seen his best days. Sure, that experience will be able to last us for another 2 years, but someone like Lamens, if he comes in, yes, at a risk, bit of a risk, right? But he could potentially be United's goalkeeper for the next decade, like De Gea. So makes all the sense. Now, I hear what certain channels, certain people, my friends are saying. Once we come back from the international break, who do we want in goal between these guys? Do we want Martinez in goal or do we want Lamens in goal? And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'd rather Martinez in goal against Man City when we come back, sure. But life's not just about one game. United can't just look at this game, this season, and mold their whole transfer policy just on the present. They're spending millions on a goalkeeper, and I think, yeah, they were right to have an eye on the future. Now, who's to say that Lamens can't come in and be an instant success at Man United? Is that highly likely? No. Will he be making mistakes? Absolutely. But so has Bandy and so has Onana. Now, I would sooner we invest in Lamens, we put our trust in him. He's got a high ceiling. He's literally the best rated young goalkeeper out there in Europe. Great numbers last season. I'd rather invest my faith, put my faith in him, put my trust in him, conviction in him, knowing that he's going to make mistakes, but he will improve. David De Gea came, was not strong enough, made mistakes, improved, and was the best keeper in Europe for the next 5 to 6 years, easily. You don't get voted in as Man United's best player as a goalkeeper if you're not something special. And this is to critics, to everyone out there who says David De Gea was not good enough or made mistakes, even at the end. People like Roy Keane, sure, you've played the game, but Roy Keane doesn't respect goalkeepers, and I don't respect his opinions as a pundit. Great captain, great midfielder, but for him to say that goalkeepers are overrated and he doesn't even think Peter Schmeichel was all that well, or Edwin van der Sar. Who are you kidding? The goalkeeper is the first name on the team sheet. And a good goalkeeper inspires his team. So with the team that we have out there, with the young players that we have out there, Martinez, who's probably the more experienced out of that backline, a fit Man United backline would read Martinez, De Ligt, Yoro. Yoro is still a teenager. De Ligt and Martinez, I believe, is 27. De Ligt is probably 26, or 25. Can't remember now. But Lamens could come in, join that group, be of that same kind of age and ilk, and be our future for the next 3, 4 years, winning something concrete. So De Ligt at 26, Martinez at 27, Lamens at 23, and Euro, I believe, is 19. Man United have got a very young defense, which could be the foundation of the future. We've got to look at that. Our bigger plan is to be successful, is to win the league in 3 years when the new Old Trafford will be built, 3 to 5 years plan. And so we're working towards that. Now, let's talk a little bit about Lamens in terms of a keeper. I've looked at some videos of him. There are some keepers, and I'll look at Man United's keepers to start off with. Bayern Deer is really tall. Has got I wouldn't call it a big frame, but he's certainly really tall. But before looking at the stats and before doing some research on him, I could have never told you he's as tall as he is. I think Bayern Deer is at 6'5", 6'6". Alta Bayern Deer. Yet he completely got dominated against Arsenal. Completely gets dominated with every cross that comes in. So it's height alone is not what will make or break a goalkeeper. Onana is not a short goalkeeper. I think he's 6 foot. Some sources say he's 6'1", but I believe he's 6'3". Onana, but he keeps getting out jumped and dominated by Grimsby players, right? Lamens, when I look at him, He has a presence. He's definitely cut from the cloth of, the likes of Courtois. And listen, I'm not comparing him to Courtois. Yes, there are similarities, but Courtois is at 2 meters tall, 6'7", 92 kilos, a huge presence. But he's certainly cut from that similar cloth. Um, and he's learning from Courtois. But dare I say, despite being a great shot keeper like Courtois, and he'll be tested in the Premier League, guys, make no mistakes about that. From what I've seen, Lemens is really good with his feet, very good at distributing, um, both right and left feet. I'm not sure if he's right footer or left footer at this point, but because I've seen him pass the ball, ping it with both feet. So he's that typical modern goalkeeper, but he doesn't have that egoistical personality that likes of Onana and likes of Martinez even have. Taunting the strikers, taking their time. I believe his mentality is strong and very composed. I think he'll be the type of keeper that way, very similar to Courtois, who will focus on what he's doing, get rid of danger, but be reading the game so that when he has um, the ball at his feet, he's already thinking on where to ping it, where to pass it to. So I'm quietly optimistic about it. I know a lot of people um, are dismissing him and are a little bit disappointed at the transfer business that United have done on deadline day. Not myself. I'm quietly confident that maybe not this season, but Lamens is definitely going to come good for us. Now, what does that mean for us this season? Well, this season alone, if I was to critique our transfer window or just look at the resources at our disposal, well, we've arguably got a group of goalkeepers who are number twos for Man United. You know, they all seem to be good number twos or good enough for number twos at best. I don't think Onana is even good for being a number two goalkeeper at Man United at this point. I don't think United fans would even tolerate having him on the bench, but that's another thing. Bayern D isn't a number two goalkeeper, and at 23, you'd think Lamens would be, um, should be doing his understudy next to someone like Martinez, a Donnarumma, a Courtois, that kind of ilk of goalkeeper. So it'd be pretty interesting to see who Amram goes for. But if defense is anything to go by, Amram has played Lenny Yoro, who is 19. Um, Amram's played Patrick Dorgu, who's 20. And ahead of some more experienced players. So I think he can be given his chance. If he's good enough, he'll play. Now, that's with the goalkeeping situation. Another piece of transfer business that Man United have done is, and I'm very, very happy to see that, is the departure of Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is a parasite, certainly not a paradise. He's a parasite for Man United, and he's not the only one. So has Anthony. So has a number of players who are not passionate about the club, have not given much to the club, have not bonded with the fans, taking a big salary and not looking to move on because their new clubs can't afford their salaries. So Jadon Sancho is one of them. We got 5 million for Chelsea. Ideally, we were hoping that Chelsea would have bought him for 25 million. That didn't happen. Um, Instead, they paid us 5 million to have him back, and now he's going on loan to Aston Villa. So that's good news. Anthony is going to Real Betis, 25 million euros, I believe, or 25 million pounds. Very, very, you could say low fee for someone who's cost in excess of 75 million pounds. So we're selling him for a third of his buying price. What a disastrous um, piece of business when you look at the books. But we've managed to get a 50% sell on clause. So that's worked out well. And yesterday we heard about Garnacho going to Chelsea. So all in all, we're selling the players that we wanted to sell. There's some people who've ended up staying, like I've not heard about Hoyland going. So I think Hoyland's staying, and he's fine because he's passionate about only 22 of age, set the world alight. And I think Hoyland and Sesko, good competition between them on leading the line for Man United. Xerxes for me at the moment, is the best of that bunch, but he's a different type of player to Hoyland and Sheshko, who will be playing more on the shoulder of the last defender. So I don't have any problem with Hoyland staying. I'm quite happy. Kobe May is only 20 years of age. He's staying. So that's a result for Man United. You know, he's one of the players that I definitely didn't want to see leave United. So that's a result. And the other player, I believe, was Malasia. But again, Malasia, like Maguire, Casemiro, and Tom Heaton, I believe his contract also expires next year, 2026. So if he didn't get a move, Malasia, this summer, then he'll certainly be going next summer, maybe even in January. So I think that's progress. That's that. All in all, I'm personally quite happy. Actually, I'm happy with our transfer window. Depends how you look at it. It's not a transfer window that's going to win us the league, but I don't know what transfer window would have won us the league. One single transfer window is not going to do it. We've added very, very good experience with very, very good Premier League experience with Embuemo, with Cunha, and we've added some great, talented youngsters at either end of our attack and defense. So got in a 23-year-old um, goalkeeper at the age of, as I said, 23, and Benjamin Sesko is at the tender age of 22, just like Hoyland. So I think youth and exuberance, energy is the theme of this transfer window, and on that side, it's been mightily successful. So well done, everyone, and thank you very much for the owners uh, for those funds. And now it's just down to Ruben Amorim and his set of players to perform. I think we've got the entire season ahead of us. 3 games in, it's not been a good start. 4 points out of 9 hasn't been a good start, but 35 games to go, and I think we've got a good group of players who can deliver. 4 goalkeepers. We just gotta back our young recruit. I really hope Amarim manages him well, and if he's ready to be entrusted with the starting place, I'd be happy to see him there. Shesko clearly has not been trusted to lead the United line, so Amarim's managing him well. Hopefully, now that the transfer window is shut, Hoyland can get back and kick on a little bit from last season. I'd like to see him get some minutes in a United shirt, and really, if he's got any kind of dignity within himself, then he would love to prove the doubters wrong, because if he puts in some really good performances and bags some goals, then not only does he increase his value, not only does he increase his marketability for January, but also Man United. I mean, he's got the right qualities, the right character to be a solid player for Man United. He's got the talent, he's just got to deliver. It's just that mentality that needs to change a little bit and deliver. So, best of luck to him. Love to see Kobe Mainu kick on. Um, so I'm really excited for the future, for the rest of the season and the future. So thank you everyone for this transfer window from a Man United fan perspective. And let's take a little bit of a break with the international couple of weeks that we have. And I can't wait to come back for our match against Man City. Until then, take care, good night, and happy birthday for me. Cheerio. Bye bye.